we go any further, I'm following Mog 1717 now. By the way, incredibly insight, worth a follow. If you are on Twitter, now called X, make sure to follow her because this kind of insights is why we are there on Twitter sharing this. And I ask their permission to share this for you, and I'm going to read it aloud because, yeah, it's pretty much what we have been looking for, like a complete analysis of what is coming for Harry and Meghan. Okay, so make sure that you follow Mog1717 on Twitter. Here we go. This isn't about mental health or parenting advice, what they are going to do in New York. I think it's more complicated than that. And pardon my long commentary in advance. I think Team Sausages, Harry, Meghan, and WME, their public relations agency, are unhappy with several of the latest narratives around them and are looking to bury or spin them. Here's what I think the things motivating this stunt are, what to watch for, and why I think it will flop. Number one, the revelations around the Harlem school event had been embarrassing and negative. Team Sausages attempted to silence parents and teachers about it after they required temporary and superficial changes to a book reading at a school serving the city's poorest children to match M's aesthetic. And they had the nerve to ask for $5 from each child. They managed to turn one short visit into a toxic mix of exploitation, white savior complex, and totalitarianism, which is quite an achievement, just not great for the brand, whatever it is today. A digression, the footage didn't appear in H&M. Is it because in the Netflix documentary? Is it because the parents were pissed and they couldn't risk it? I bet that was the reason. They didn't want to start a PR nightmare. Maybe that contract that I analyzed here on another live stream prevented for anything, but the outrage that or the how to say that the noise that it will have provoked would have been very bad for their brand. But the contract leaked anyway, and here we are. So square one. Number two, a sponsor event on the dangers of social media on children's mental health is just a ticket to counter negative press around Archewell's push for censorship in Australia. It's an attempt to make the revelation of Archewell's involvement in a Commonwealth country's regulation seem less sinister. That rather than a privileged and elite class using the levers of government to stifle information and individuals they don't like, this is a noble cause. It's all for the children. Narrator, it isn't. Yeah, it is not. It's for the benefit of the Archewell and Meghan's brand. Number three, both the Invictus Games and the Costner event appearances were deservedly mocked. Cringe-worthy fashion parades for Meghan and craven attention grabs for them both. Look for her to cosplay a serious thought leader complete with monogram leather portfolios and briefcases and serious hair. She'll be copying the recent appearances of other royal women who have done decades of less splashy and self-serving work were given throughout September. I think Meghan will either wear a suit or her Rachel look from Suits. Suits, not just because Catherine has been wearing suits. That's always a consideration. But because Leticia, Mary, and Rania have fully embraced the trend with Victoria being the OG suit boss. Suits because she thinks it made her look smart and accomplished. And you know so many things, so many sugar saying, but Meghan knows about the law. She works on suits. Yeah, this is the room temperature IQ that we are talking about. Meghan hopes a change of costume, hairstyle, and a bought crowd will equate her to a respected and powerful royal woman. To quote Cher Horowitz from Clueless, as if. Number three, and this is we are getting into the good part. Everything is good, but this is the better part. She wants a redo in New York. Every visit they've made to New York City has been a debacle. Every single one. This is already long, so I won't detail all the failure. Just trust me on this. William just slayed in New York. He got rapturous press coverage, praise from billionaires and tycoons, and looked like a world leader. Neither of these realities can be tolerated by Meghan. Having an event in New York City where William just was is a calculated attempt to put them in the same frame as William. I agree. As a communications expert of many years, I agree with Mog's appreciation. They've parachuted into an already sold-out event with already committed A-listers to look as powerful as he is. And yes, that's why they are at 1:30 p.m. Their audience will be filled with carefully selected attendees. The Archewell sponsorship means they bought and control the tickets, and it will be managed within an inch of its life. And holding absolute control over tickets means press they don't like can be kept out of the event. But there will be AstroTurf crowds arranged everywhere they are seen to make them seem wildly popular. Expect plenty of crowd-size comparisons. And the best part for us is that the way that Archewell can make use of this is that it's going to be footage of this. If there is no footage of this, photos, pictures, but actual footage of this, it's not like someone with a vertical recording phone recording. A professionally recorded video. Then we will have plenty of body language stuff to analyze, unless they are using some kind of substances to adjust their body language on the fly. Oh my God. Attorneys are going to pull my ears. Jesus, what are you saying? What is this? Continue. They want to outdo William's last visit and be seen in New York City with throngs of people. For 1 minute, I'm glad I'm using my glasses, but because I thought that it said be seen in New York City with thongs, and oh my God, that is something that I am not going to ask Midjourney for an image of that. With throngs of people, I guarantee that she wants to try and show up their absurd chase claims with visuals of them surrounded by worshipful crowds and dozens of paparazzi. By the way, I had an image of that right here. I forgot to show it to you. I generated one image for the super car chase. There it is. This is something absolutely made up, but very fitting for the car chase number 2 that is gonna happen. I'm sure that people have reached out to see if Major Adams will meet with them to push the false cancel meeting with William's story and to undercut Adams, calling them out for the near catastrophic chase. Adams is just enough of an ethically challenged fame or alternately a modern politician, of course, to take them up on it, though kneecapping his police union and the displeasure he already got from the British delegation over his premature meeting announcement might be enough to get him to take a pass. Excellent. Fingers crossed. I concur completely. Look for a dinner with a fabulous friends and some sort of down-to-earth moment to counter William's run in the park. It will be Harry running the marathon in the park. I made that picture as well. Let me see if I can look for it really quickly. Oh, right here. I should have it handy. Oh, there is Harry. There is Harry. Let me. This is something that I did. Some music here playing. I know this technical things, this technical stuff sometimes starts all of a sudden. Let me see. Let me continue. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. How can I stop? Make sure that this stops. That is the kind of music that I use while I'm working. So we continue. Sorry about the interruption. Look for a dinner with a fabulous friends, and they run in the park. They want to emulate the William running in the park. That there were no pictures of William running in the park. There was just a headline and 2 lines of article, and that's it. It's not out of the realm of possibility that they make a secret visit to the school again that gets leaked by a parent or a teacher, or a trip with their own kids. Nah, that ain't gonna happen. No, 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 no. I put my money on that not happening. In tow spotted at the Central Park Zoo. Oh my God. Are they pandas? The Central Park Zoo? They should be alongside the pandas. Yeah. And bet they stay someplace fabulous. You know, for the pandas, black and white, biracial. You know, it's everything in the little details. And bet they stay someplace fabulous to clap back at the Carlisle. Oh, yes. Maybe Hotel Carter. If you are from New York, you know Hotel Carter. Oh my God, this is one of my favorite legends of the city. Number 4, they desperately need control positive press, and she can't go long without attention. Their panel is being moderated by Carson Daly, super coincidentally represented by WME. And you believe that I hear there is a great deal of on London Bridge right now. Daly is one of the biggest practitioners of the suck-up interview there is, the type to agree to pre-approved questions. A celebrity and social media interviewer, not a journalist. He's not gonna ask the hard questions. You can count on every question to be advancing some narrative or clapping back on something Am is chaffed over. Yeah, many times over. I can see a question designed, this is brilliant. I can see a question designed to counter the suspicions that her recent weight loss was from Ozempic. Something like, isn't physical health an essential component of mental health? Oh, what's your personal approach to that? And that will follow from Am is a word salad around healthy diet and eating, with a self-deprecating anecdote about the occasional fast food indulgence. This is my problem with this is that we should have made this, I don't know, private or something, or in an envelope or something, to just open that and the day after it happens, because this is on cue for the script. This is going to happen, and I don't want Meghan to be changing anything just because we are addressing this. And yes, many people were reading Mog's thread on Twitter, and with exercise and stress relief, you know, and with many like 1,000 stickers of street relieving stickers all around Meghan, like a big beehive of stress relieving stickers all around Meghan. She will think she has absolutely put an end to the old talk, authenticated her desperate thirst trap pap shots, and established her wellness grads. Mog, you are putting my English to the test. Choosing Daly guarantees that they will be featured during the Today Show, probably the morning after the event, ensuring at least 2 days of glowing coverage for them and the prestige of a national morning show appearance. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is Christmas. This is early Christmas for me. Make no mistake, it's all bought and paid for and arranged by WME. Number 5. Now, I told you this was magnificent. Remember to follow Mog1717 on Twitter. Nobody believes that Archewell is anything but a front, and nobody takes their philanthropy claims seriously. Their press releases already have co-opted the entire event with talk about Archewell sponsoring it. Only those who are paying attention know it's just one panel telling themselves that they are paying for. Would anyone be surprised if it's disclosed later that the funds came from a better op or community fund grant funneled through Archewell? Oh my God, what a scandal would it be? But what is the problem? You need attention right now. You need anything else. You are in the bottom of the barrel. You have no choice. You need to stay current, relevant, and you will do anything to do it because it's that kind of emergency. Their involvement received zero promotion before yesterday, just days before an event that probably took a year to pull together. Lazy journals and those in the bag for the sausages will spin like tops for them. They will cover it like Archewell is the sponsor of the entire event and a respected player in the space. Narrator. That's a hard no on both. They will also claim it was sold out, which will be suspicious. So just as Harry and Meghan buy awards, they are buying a conference so they can say they are mental health leaders. So that's the next step for Meghan. Mental health. She had to borrow that one for Harry, which in turn borrowed that one from William and Catherine. Well, borrow, no, it's not the right word, right? Stole. Stole is the right word. It's not like you can steal the topic, but it's blatant. Copying, being a copycat about that. It's just how it is. Number 6, the social engagement on articles about either or both of the sausages has been dropping steadily all year and cratered around the Heart of Invictus trailer. Articles aren't being shared or liked, and comments are way down. Heart of Invictus flopped hard. The timing of this event is absolutely designed to insert themselves into the same coverage as William and Catherine's efforts this month. Besides being petty, it's really cynical. Riding on the whale's coattails will allow them to pull their numbers up with mentions of the far more popular couple. That's another thing. That's another strategy that you use to confuse the media. Like it's something happening at the same time, and you coattail, that is the perfect word, on the whatever William and Catherine are doing, and especially the imitation of what they are doing. Catherine and William have multiple engagements all week and month, and there will be a group of journalists that insert this one purchase event, like all the rest of their philanthropic efforts, into every account of the whale's work. Keep an eye out for it. It will be in story after story. They start talking about William and Catherine, they will immediately make a bait and switch to the articles. I am not surprised about that. This happens all the time, and that is what these mainstream media people are going to do. For what it's worth, I predict this latest rebrand will fail because people's opinions of both Harry and Meghan seem to have hardened. Their numbers have basically been the same for 18 months, and there isn't a big undecided pull any longer to move to their column. Harry and Meghan are no longer likable or relatable. The constant claims of rebranding have made them jokes. They have no credibility in the mental health field, and the less said about parenting and families, the better. There is a saying in advertising that the research can be top-notch, the packaging fabulous, the budget enormous, and the ad campaign award-winning, but if the dogs don't eat the dog food, none of it will matter. Profits will fall and everyone will get fired. This also has to do with what I told you about, which is one of the pillars, the most important principles of marketing. How are you positioning your brand? What are you good for? What is the brand? What is the value that you're bringing people? And why do people care about your value and your brand? Is your soap bar for smelling good or for cleaning, or has to be one of them, maybe protecting your skin? But you have to position your brand in a way that people hear about you and they instantly form this idea in their minds. That is positioning. You have to pick that. You have to make that decision. Have to choose how to position your brand in people's minds. Now, my question is, what do people think about when someone says Meghan Markle, that is not a grifter? I think that is the first thing that most people think about. She is not authentic. There's always like an intention to escalate or climb this social ladder in one way or another. That's what it is, my guess. I would like to know if you are in the comments. Please make your bets. I think they are positioned in. I think when I think of Meghan, I use the word "thing" so I can look for your comments afterwards. When I think of Meghan, I think of what is the first thing? What is the first thing that comes to mind? Yeah, I'm getting to the limit of my English abilities. Okay, they have no credibility. Okay, the packaging. Okay, everyone will get fired. There are two other sayings that apply to this rebranding effort. You can't make a silk purse from a sow's ear. Always tail and stop trying to make fetch happen. Tina Fey's in Mean Girl. Spot on. Number three, what happens at the event itself? Both have revealed themselves at this sort of spotlight events, and not in a good way. Harry proves he's entitled, out of touch, unprepared, and frankly, dumb. The dumb prince, you know? He also cites outmoded platitudes and hints at his own shame negative judgment about mental health struggles. He's done it over and over, and it's discrediting. That is the problem, that there's no progression. Okay, in which way what worked for you can work for other people? In this case, that will be nice. Okay, I want to talk about everybody knows my story. I wrote a book. No, sorry, someone wrote a book for me to tell my story. Now I want to use those lessons learned to help other people. But if all you do is to tell your story again and why mental health is important, that doesn't help anyone. That is the big difference between a lousy nonfiction book and a good nonfiction book. For example, if there was a nonfiction book about mental health, a lousy one would be from beginning to end, this is why mental health is important. Okay? Sounds similar to what Meghan and Harry say all the time. Mental health is important, but a good mental health book would say how to reach a good mental health, how to be mentally healthy, how do you go from A to B, and what are the steps that I have to take to reach that state. Maybe there's a specific, of course, has to be rather specific, has to be mental health in teens and social media. There's a way, there's a process. How to do it? What are the steps? Tell me what I have to do and tell me in a way that I can understand it and in the steps that I can follow easily. Those are the books that really shine. But Harry and Meghan are stuck in that, mental health is important. That's all what they say over and over again. I'm still trying to practice the South Park Meghan's LA accent. Oh, I'm going to use it. At some point, I will be using the Meghan LA South Park accent, but it's just like that Valley Girl accent. I will be using it. Promise. Continue. Remember to follow Mog1717 on Twitter. Meghan does more prep. Probably too much. She's often over-rehearsed. But her focus is always on her own personal agenda and not the one in front of her. She memorizes platitudes, rambles in word salads, plagiarizes, and is really not good at spontaneous conversation. She's so hungry for attention that she starts to act manic, like those mask slips. She pushes herself forward, hogs the mic. With increasing frequency over the past year, her mask drops during the appearance, and it's not a good look. They both take credit publicly for things that they didn't do. Both tend to make up anecdotes to either establish credibility or make themselves likable or important. Neither of them. They fail miserably. And because they're both so public, people spot the lies immediately. Yeah, people can smell that. It's really easy. You can see right through it. And insert Jaws theme here. She goes rogue. Uvalde comes to mind. Yeah, she tries to do whatever she pleases. I'm going to do this. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to do this even if it's a really bad idea. That in fact, that sounds a lot like me in that regard. That she goes rogue. Yeah, I have no bosses. I do whatever I want with my shows, but well, I try to be I try to follow my positioning, my brand, right? Not do some kind of how to say this. It's like I am not trying to pretend anything I am not. That is the big thing. And this is has to do with being authentic, and whether if you have to be humble, or you have to be, or you prefer to be, sometimes you have the bragging rights. You need to use the bragging right. As Catherine, you know how to play the piano in public. What is the problem? You have the bragging rights, use them. You have to be like that. But it will be different. It would be different if you claim something that you are not, just to impress people. In so many ways, we have seen that with the articles happening over and over again. That is the problem. Or, for example, a good example is all this around all this hypocrisy around climate change. For example, when they said, "Oh, your carbon footprint this, your carbon footprint that," and then you fly on private jets everywhere. You don't fly commercial, so that's hypocritical. So a person that doesn't claim about all this stuff, it won't be as wrong, so to speak, if they fly in a jet, because they are not. Oh, I want to make a change in the world about carbon emission and stuff, but at the same time I fly in private jets. No, that is not the way. Either you do one thing or do the other thing, but both at the same time, you're just a hypocrite. For those paying attention, difference between the couple and the whales couldn't be more stark, and competing directly with them at the same time brings that in full view. The whales have spent almost a decade of study, focus, and consistent leadership with the intent of bringing attention to issues and getting key support for solutions and support groups and care. In this, they follow with the example of Prince Philip, I guess that is Prince Philip, King Charles, and members of royalty throughout the world. Slow and steady, and a soft application of power and connections. The sausages parachute into a high-profile event, throw money around, and put themselves above those who have worked in the sector for years to bring attention to themselves, behaving like trophy wives, tech bros, and confidence men. They suck all the air out of the room, exploit the event, and fly off to the next new thing. Yeah, that is the big problem. And it comes from anxiety and desperation. You haven't built the how to say that when you're building the cimientos en español. That's the name. The foundations. You haven't built the foundations of what you're going to work with your brand. As Mark says here, the whales have done it for a decade, slow and steady, until you are positioned in something and you stay right there. Okay? You have the Archewell Prize. You have the early life. What Catherine does with children, and of course the mental health part. And you just stay there. It's not easy, but you have to be patient. You have to act fast, but you have to be patient with the outcome, because it's gonna take years. Okay, it's always gonna take years. It took me years to study all that I know on behavior and body language and all this stuff. It took me years to understand how this social media communications can be used to spread that message. And it also took me years to be to the point that I can say, okay, I can make these YouTube videos, I can make these live stream videos with some confidence, trying to not taking myself too seriously. But yes, it has taken me literally decades to be where I am. So I would not say that this is not Maybe I did not know the complete journey from start to end. That is impossible. I but I kept failing forward, which is the best approach to this. You just have to fail forward because you don't know how are going to be things in 1 year or 5 years or 10 years. You just have to do things right now. And William and Catherine, that's what they did. Meghan and Harry just think that since they are famous, they can just jump in any topic that they want. And no, that doesn't work that way. You just cannot buy that expertise, that positioning. I mean, how come? No, that doesn't work that way. That worked for Meghan back then when she wanted to be positioned as a philanthropist or an activist. And she made those couple trips to Africa, took all the pictures with the children, made sure to keep all those pictures and all those videos. And yeah, she is an activist now because she has proof. Because she was not as famous back then. She was not as scrutinized back then. And that is why they are desperate right now. They have built nothing. Last slide. So while I guess I admire the audacity at work here by WME, I don't think it's going to work. That's a lot to pin in one visit. I pity the poor minions who did all this good work and who will get screamed at when it fails to deliver on M's unsatisfiable expectations. And the word today is that it's another new team of victims. Hopefully, WME has a wellness hotline in their benefits package. Maybe they can hire some coaches from Better Up. Of course, it's perfect. Oh my God, I am so brilliant that sometimes I wonder why I am not, I don't know, in a working at SpaceX or NASA or something. It's perfect. Why haven't anyone thought about this? Archewell, WME, they need Better Up coaches. Well, they're I don't know 600 an hour or so pay. They must be good for that. The benefits package. Thoughts and prayers for the new team. Thoughts and prayers. Past is prologue, folks. Think this will go the way of all their other resets, but it will be interesting to watch and see how it unfolds. The founding members of the House of Sausages are many things, but they're rarely dull. And yes, we will be there to see what are they up to. Let's read your super chats.